the instant film project, I take a lot of Polaroids. And one thing that I do nowadays is I find the Polaroids that I like, and I sort of draw and tell a story around it. Um, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to tape the edges. You're listening to this live, so if there are any weird pauses, you know why. I used to not tape the edges, but I find that the final image looks a lot cleaner with the taped edges, especially because I'll be using pastels, chalk pastels today. Um, I use a non-toxic chalk pastel from Chalk Copenhagen. It's light fast, meaning that it's less likely to fade in sunlight, uh, and it's non-toxic. So sometimes pigments that you find in art supplies are actually toxic, even the ones on commercial market. So I choose the non-toxic ones so that it's healthier for me because I touch these all the time, and it's healthier for you when it's in your home. So this is little Freddy, my dog, and the photo was taken in my room, and you can see it's quite dark in the room. It doesn't have a lot of natural light in the image. You can see that the colors have shifted towards orange. This is how the image turned out. It wasn't actually photoshopped. So I quite like how warm the image looks. And one of the things that I thought about doing with this is actually to have some flowers around the sides. So something. The reason for that is so little Freddy turns out to be a slow down and smell the flowers kind of dog. That was a bit unexpected because I have a bit of an allergy to flowers in Poland. But he loves flowers. I have some videos of him when he was younger. The first time he walked outside the house, and he was so there were two types of flowers that I wanted to fit in. The first has this kind of leafy look. It's sort of like this, kind of bushy, leafy. It's kind of how it looks. And then the second is just I think they're daisies. So it's really a bit kind of like. And this is at Regent's Park. So there's a yellow kind, and then there's a purple kind. I see that the purple kind actually has petals that sort of extend. They're like they have a sort of slightly flatter appearance, whereas the yellow ones have this sort of conical shape, where it sort of extends downwards. Uh, I haven't decided on what the composition is yet. I want to sort of take a look at the colors. So, of course, green. I think the color palette is a bit dull at the moment, so let's put in some more light. I think it's a sharper yellow. I'm not sure how I feel about this, the orange and purple. Maybe brown stems. Oh, brown. The center is brown. Let's add a bit of a light yellow to this. So I think these three, this here works decently as a color palette. All right, I kind of like that. I think that works. So let's look at the composition. So this is where the Polaroid is. So there are a few things that we can try. So for example, we can have it quite exaggerated, huge. We can also have it smaller. I think the third and obvious thing to try is to have it tiny. I think I prefer this one the most. It's most graphic, it's most striking, I feel. Um, so maybe that's what we're gonna go for. Let's give it a try. So I've sort of experimented with pastels quite a bit, and what I find effective for me is to actually not to do too many layers and to try to just get it right the first time. I try to do no more than 3 layers because once it starts getting, it begins to get murky, and murky colors are just not very pleasant. Uh, unless I guess you are looking for that effect specifically. So I'm just gonna put down some of the color blocks, one way of thinking about it. And just to sort of confirm the composition, and then I can work into them a little bit more. So originally I thought that I would be using this pink as a base, but I feel like it's similar in brightness to the yellow, so I wanted to darken it up just a touch to give a bit more contrast. So I kind of like having these two here. I'm thinking about where to put the third one. Just sort of trying to make sure that it doesn't get too crowded. Let's put in some of the details, and then we'll do the greens at the end. I kind of want to bring out a stronger yellow on the. So I found out halfway through, well, actually, I found out just now that the camera tilted. So that is why you can see why I swapped to a sort of a still image, kind of, well, at the end. But here's the piece anyways. So this is how the final artwork looks scanned. If you like the artwork, feel free to check it out at studio.mfreddy.com. It may be available. Somebody else might have gotten it already. Uh, Check out the website. You can also see what other artworks I might have. I'll see you all again soon.